Gentlemen, for being here and for your service to our country. And the meeting is called to order. I apologize for being a few minutes late. I forgot we changed the time till 9:45 from 10, so Ben could go to a meeting I think that's occurring at 10:30. So thank you for accommodating both meetings. Obviously, Afghanistan continues to be something that's important to our U.S. national interest. We brokered a government, if you will, the United States did in 2014, that created both a president and CEO office. That has not been confirmed, if you will, through the Loya Jirga and continued on. I think we had concerns about that process taking place, and you know, you wonder about the support that that government has relative to not being confirmed in the way that it normally would. I have a tremendous respect for President Ghani and a warm relationship with CEO Abdullah. Obviously, their roles together have been interesting. They've sort of muddled through it together, as one might expect, with the type of arrangements that have been, quote, created from the outside. I was really glad to see President Obama commit to 8,400 troops going forward. I think the security situation there does not warrant changing that at this time. I would have liked for it to have occurred earlier, but it seems like that we've been able to continue to have the support of our allies in the region. I appreciate certainly the additional authorities that have been given to our military there to counter al-Qaeda and to work more closely with the Afghan troops themselves. I think we know that the close air support has been very, very important to them in saving their lives and pushing back what's happening with insurgencies there. We have a complicated future there, and I do want to hear from both of our outstanding witnesses today. On one hand, we have the Taliban there that we're continuing to counter, appropriately so. And on the other hand, we've expressed in the past our desire to negotiate a settlement with the Taliban, the very people we went to Afghanistan in the first place in 2001 to take out. Very complicated further by the fact that Pakistan continues to be a tremendously duplicitous partner in this. Mr. Olson and I have talked about this on several occasions, but you know, certainly they are working against our interests there. They're through helping support in the ways that they do the Akani network. They're the greatest threat to American soldiers there, certainly the greatest threat to the Afghan military and civilians. So I look forward to our testimony. I do wish it was enhanced with someone from the military. I had a good meeting yesterday with one of the generals involved in the transition issues. I don't understand why the civilian side of the military continues to be in over their head, it seems, and their ability to cooperate in hearings that would be very beneficial to our witnesses, but they seem to be in over their heads. So with that, I'll turn to Senator Cardin.
Well, Mr. Chairman, first, thanks for convening this hearing on the 15th anniversary of the international engagement in Afghanistan. I think it's appropriate that we take a look at where we are and where we're heading and evaluate how we can achieve our objectives. This hearing, of course, is in the aftermath of the NATO Warsaw Summit, so we'll be able to at least get an update as to the commitments made there, and the upcoming Brussels conference, which will take place in October. Ambassador Olson, I want to share Senator Corker, Chairman Corker's comments. The first issue of concern is security, and I take it the Department of Defense felt that you were fully capable of responding to all of our questions on the security issues, because they declined to have you have help at this hearing, which I join Senator Corker in expressing my regret.
And that was the civilian side, we might add,
Yeah,
not
right.
the civilian leadership, not the military leadership.
Absolutely. So Anyway, we will want to get an update on the security. It is critically important. We know the Afghan Special Forces have been particularly effective, but it looks like they're stretched rather thin throughout the country in dealing with the security needs. So we would be interested as to how the conventional forces are capable of maintaining the security in the different regions of Afghanistan. That's critically important. Obviously, the peace process, what is happening? Is there a possibility we can move forward? Pakistan's role, is it constructive in assisting us in the peace process in Afghanistan? Look forward to your update on the governance structures within Afghanistan, the status of the emerging democratic institutions. Senator Corker already mentioned President Ghani and CEO Abdullah, the National Unity Government Agreement of 2014. We've seen signs, at least recently, that there has been some division here. Is the unity still there? Is it still effectively operating as a unity government in Afghanistan? I am extremely interested in the protection of human rights. Recent reports of child abuse by some of the Afghan National Security Forces, that is absolutely unacceptable. And I want to make sure that our participation in Afghanistan, we have zero tolerance for that type of activity, and that is made clear through all of our participating arms. Which brings me to Mr. Sampler and the work that USAID is doing in Afghanistan, our largest efforts in the world, a great personal sacrifice to the men and women who are carrying out that aid, some who've given their lives. So I really first express my deep appreciation to the workforce at USAID and the leaders there. And Mr. Sampler, I understand that this may be one of your last days at USAID, that you are moving on, and I just really want to thank you for your service to our country, both of you for your service to our country. Lastly, we need to take a look at the aid program as to how it's being administered. Considering the size of the Afghan economy, is it being right-sized? Do we need to make sure that it is working effectively and carrying out lasting reform? It's time for us to evaluate that aid package as well. So, Mr. Chairman, this is a very important hearing. As you pointed out, I regret that I will be leaving for part of the hearing. We have the counselor of Burma that's in town. You had a chance, Mr. Chairman, to meet with her yesterday at breakfast. I have an opportunity to meet with her in a few moments, and I'm going to take advantage of that.